Hello there and welcome to Cheddar Diaries. So in today's video, I will be showing you what I ate during the fourth and final week of my Vegan October challenge. If you're new here, I did do a vegan challenge in October, and yeah, this video is just me showing you some of the recipes that I cooked that week, and I hope you enjoy it. So like I've been doing with all my vegan challenge videos, I will give a shout out to a vegan YouTuber, and today's shout out goes to Rachel Amma. She makes really good videos, and her food always looks like it has lots and lots of flavor. So definitely check her out, vegan or not. I promise you will enjoy her content. So for breakfast, I made myself some oats, and oats are a staple in my breakfast. They've always been, vegan or not. So I just used one portion of jungle oats, and I added 2 portions to that 1 portion of unsweetened almond milk to replace my cow's milk. And I don't particularly like this brand of almond milk. I've actually come to find that using soy milk, it's a brand called Good Hope, actually tastes better for me. But for the purposes of this video, this is what I used when filming. So I like my oats to be kind of runny and gooey, so that is the consistency that I go for. You can cook them whichever way that you want to, but I like to eat my oats this way. So once they were cooked, I like to add chia seeds. This is something that I've always done. Chia seeds are really good for digestion. Yeah, and they're just, overall quite healthy. So I added some chia seeds over my oats, and then I also chopped up half of a banana. I think it was a whole banana maybe, but I added some banana to my oats, and that was my breakfast. In order to sweeten it, I added some maple syrup. Usually I would add honey, and I actually really miss adding honey, but I think sugar is better. Like I'd rather use sugar over maple syrup. So yeah, that is my breakfast. So for lunch, I wanted to meal prep, and it was a roast theme type of lunch. So I got some potatoes, and I remember I think I only used 3 that day. So I just got a baking tin, and then I peeled my potatoes. If you want to, you can keep the peels on, but I just made some large wedges, and then I used this Hinds Potato Spice. Really good, highly recommend it. Definitely try it out. And I just sprinkled it generously or liberally over my potatoes, as well as added some salt to taste. I also sprinkled some olive oil. And then I just mix everything with my hands. I then put it in the oven at 180 degrees. So I also wanted to make some roast vegetables. So I picked these from Pick and Pay, actual Pick and Pay roasting vegetables. And I don't know about you, but I feel like the Pick and Pay with the best assorted, roast vegetables is the one at Woodland. So yeah. And then I noticed that the green pepper was kind of old, so I took it out. And I also decided to just wash all the vegetables and I chopped them up into, bite-sized pieces. And I added my own green pepper because that one, had gotten old. So to this, I added some curry powder, and here I just eyeballed it, so it's up to your taste and what you like. I also added some crushed garlic, or just garlic powder really. I also added a liberal amount of this, as well as some ginger powder. And some salt to taste, and some olive oil as well. Just drizzled some over. And then I mixed with my hands, and this went into the oven as well, 180 degrees Celsius. So I put both tins in there for 30 minutes at first, and after 30 minutes this is what my potatoes were looking like. And by the way, like, I'm really bad at flipping stuff so apologies if It looked like I was smashing them because like to be honest, like I was smashing them a little bit. But yeah, I just turned them over. And actually, you don't have to wait 30 minutes. You could also wait 20 minutes, every time you wanted to check and flip. But I just went with 30 minutes on that particular day. And then I also just flipped the vegetables as well. And put them back in the oven for another 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, the potatoes were actually done. So basically, after a total of 1 hour, they were ready. Like you could eat them, just there. But I wanted them to look extra crispy, so I put them in for another 30 minutes. But that isn't compulsory. It was just my own personal preference. So these are my vegetables as well, and I just flipped them too. And put them back in the oven for another 30 minutes. And after an hour and a half in total, this is what everything was looking like. And now I was pleased with the crispy look. My vegetables were also nice and soft. If you like crispy vegetables, you can roast them like at the top just before finishing instead of like just baking throughout. And the next thing I did was make myself or roast myself some vegan sausages, and this is the brand that I used. I've actually bought these a couple of times afterwards, I think 2 other times, and they're okay. They don't taste like sausage. They just taste like someone put a whole bunch of seasoning to distract you from the fact that is soy. But anyways, yeah, I added some barbecue sauce. It's not necessary, but I chose to do that. And they're very quick, whether you're frying them or roasting them. It really does take only 8 minutes. So I put them in the oven this time at the highest temperature to roast for just 4 minutes at first, and then I flipped them and then put them back in for another 4 minutes, and they were ready. Yeah. And then I just plated my food after this, and this was my dinner. It was quite tasty, even though like the sausages are still something I'm slowly getting used to. They don't taste like sausages, but it's fine. It gives variety to my vegan meals in terms of protein. So for lunch, I just went with an easy sandwich, and I have some brown bread here, and then I chose to use mustard. And you can use whatever sandwich spread makes you happy. I just chose mustard because I like this particular mustard. And then I added some cooked soy pieces. Again, I don't have a recipe yet. When I like the taste of my soy pieces, I will share that with you. And then I just put, some lettuce and some tomatoes, some cucumber, just whatever was left in my fridge. And then I added some green pepper as well and some avocado. Please, the avocado haters, like, it's fine, okay, leave us alone. But I absolutely love adding avocados to my sandwiches, even just burgers. Like, it tastes really nice. And then there I just added some salt to taste, and that was my cute little hearty sandwich. It was actually very filling, and I've made this a couple of times, even just with other vegetables. So yeah, it's quite nice. I highly recommend that you try it. So for dessert, which is the next segment, I really wanted to make chocolate cake initially, but I couldn't find vegan butter. So I actually didn't even film a dessert, but this past week, because it's been 2 months since October, this past week I chose to make some brownies. so I literally made them this past week in the middle of December, and I looked for a vegan brownie recipe, which is what I'm going to show you here, and which is what I made. So the recipe was really really simple. The ingredients were were things that you can find in your pantry, so that was, you know, like a huge pro. So for the recipe, I added 1 cup of flour. Sorry, 2 cups. My bad. Apologies. 2 cups of flour, and then 2 cups of white sugar, and then 3/4 of a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then I mixed the dry ingredients first just to make sure everything was incorporated and the like. And then I added my wet ingredients, which was 1 cup of water, 1 cup of vegetable oil, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence or extract, but I have essence. Then I just mixed that in. It was very, very, very simple to make. And once everything was mixed well, so this is the brand of non-stick baking paper that I use, so I don't have to, you know, grease my tin. So I just laid that down and poured my batter in, and then spread it as well. And I put, you know, this batter or these brownies in a preheated oven that was at 175 degrees Celsius, and the recipe said we're supposed to bake it for 25 to 30 minutes. But they did warn me that these brownies come out really really gooey, and if you want, you know, if you want them to be firmer, you're supposed to leave them for longer. But because I'm an impatient person, I took them out at 30 minutes, and I decided to just make my peace with these brownies after they had baked for 30 minutes. But I wish I could have kept them in longer. So yeah, that was just me, you know, poking a knife in to see if it was, you know, quote unquote ready, and I was happy with that. So after 10 minutes of it cooling, I did flip it onto this tray, and, you know, just for the sake of, you know, like minor aesthetics, I sprinkled some powdered sugar. For us it's called icing sugar, you know, just to make it look better. And I cut, you know, a couple of squares in, and it was really 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 gooey. And then once I tasted it, it was really really sweet. Like, I felt like I need to brush my teeth right afterwards. So I'm still on the hunt for a brownie recipe, a vegan one. But oh, so that plate was for like my 2-year-old niece. Rave reviews. She loved it. She licked her fingers on the plate. But she's two. I don't know how adults would like it, but yeah, it's way too sweet for me. But yeah, it was okay. It was very gooey and very sweet. But yeah, that was my dessert that I wanted to share with you. Wrap this up, and then, you know, this is just a, you know, a recap of everything I made and shared with you today. Thank you so very much for having watched this video. If you came to the end, or if you watched the entire series, please comment and let me know, you know, what you feel about the series. I've absolutely enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.